What if the richest investors on earth suddenly decided the United States wasn't the safest place to stash their money anymore? Because that's exactly what it looks like right now. Billionaires are dumping United States assets like they're on fire, and they're doing it fast. Almost $2.7 trillion got wiped out in a single trading session. Weeks of gains gone overnight. And analysts say the broader pullback has already erased more than $4 trillion with one brutal two-day stretch, destroying $6.4 trillion in value. The vibe on Wall Street is panic, and some of the biggest names in global finance are straight up saying they're scared for the United States economy. And right when markets started cracking, President Trump was on the phone with Xi Jinping, basically begging China to help stabilize the situation, because the trade deal the United States has been leaning on for years is quietly falling apart. If that deal collapses, the hit to an already fragile economy could be massive. Investors are losing faith. Foreign confidence is draining, and long-term United States bonds, the thing everyone used to treat like a fortress, are starting to look shaky. Veteran bond king Jeffrey Gundlach says the debt load is now so heavy the United States can barely carry it, with deficits above $2 trillion and the debt-to-GDP ratio headed toward 122% by 2034. And the proof is right in front of us. Stocks and the dollar are falling at the same time, which almost never happens unless investors are pulling money out of the entire system, not just rotating within it. Meanwhile, long-dated Treasury yields are rising even as markets fall, a giant red flag that the world wants higher compensation to lend to the United States because they think the risk is rising. And honestly, they're not wrong. If interest rates hit 6% or 9%, the government could end up spending half to more than 3/4 of all tax revenue just paying interest on past debt, leaving almost nothing for future growth. That's a road no economy survives. And here's the part nobody wants to talk about. Foreign investors own around $9.25 trillion in United States treasuries and nearly $18 trillion in United States stocks. If they slow down, pull back, or shift money somewhere else, everything gets more expensive instantly, higher interest rates, weaker dollar, uglier markets, and that's already happening. So Trump is scrambling for a lifeline. With China, Japan, and Europe already holding giant chunks of United States assets and getting spooked, he's turning to the Gulf, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, basically saying, hey, we need you to pour money into the United States before things get worse. And honestly, the Gulf sees the leverage. The UAE has pledged $1.4 trillion over 10 years, Saudi Arabia around $600 billion, including a monster arms deal, and Qatar about $1.2 trillion in economic agreements, all announced earlier in 2025. These deals are the only thing calming markets right now. But even that's not enough, because Trump knows the real power still sits in Beijing. China controls rare earth minerals, holds a mountain of United States debt, and can move global markets just by clearing its throat. That's why Trump suddenly announced he'd fly to China in April after Xi refused to visit the White House. Trump spent years hitting China with tariffs and tough talk, but now he realizes he underestimated just how powerful Beijing is, especially when it comes to rare earths, the stuff the United States needs for missiles, EVs, AI systems, radars, pretty much everything high-tech. China delayed its export restrictions for 1 year, but that's not a gift, it's a warning shot.